Egypt is a pretty strong country, although it finds itself under Ottoman rule. Still we can easily break free, form Arabia, and expand. Probably more than we should. Don't forget to subscribe if you like those types of videos. Let's see what we're starting with. Our tech is not the best. I'll have to go for stock exchange and empiricism. We actually have a lot of units, although a lot of them are irregulars. But that should be enough to conquer Arabia. Let's raise taxes, get some decrees. Let's reduce the autonomy of Hejaz, and let's get a couple rivals. So all of Arabia, all of Ethiopia, and all of the Lake Victoria region. Yeah, that should be enough influence, so we can improve with all the great powers. Hejaz backs down, so we can go conquer all of Arabia. Should be pretty cheap infamy-wise. Okay, Spain is trying to transfer Tripolitania. Not really a big fan of Spanish influence in Africa, but okay, I guess. We'll see how this plays out. And let's get some colonial resettlement. I would like to colonize the south. We can get the Russians to support our independence for an obligation in some investment rights. So we're doing that. Valahia also wants to be independent, so does Moldova and Tunis. And so we're trying to form a bit of a coalition against the Ottomans. Ooh, the Netherlands would support us. We can also get the two Sicilies in the war against the Ottomans. Oh, and we can get Persia as well. Yeah, I think the Ottomans will have a pretty rough time, although Britain might help them. The war between Spain and the Ottomans is over. And not only did the Ottomans not lose Tripolitania, but they also gained the Philippines. Yes, we have Ottoman Philippines. We got the law passed, now we can start our colony in Equatoria. And I'll try to get the rural fucking government, so we can maybe get rid of serfdom. I managed to get Spain to support me as well. Just 2 more weeks, and there we go, no more truce with the Ottomans. So we can declare our independence, and all those guys will be supporting us. But Britain will be supporting them. Let's see how that goes. I think we should be fine. We did create a huge coalition after all. Oh my god, but the British are just so overpowered. Can we push? That's the question. Oh, actually we can in some places. Oh, wait a second, I forgot a front. That's a bit of a problem. Let's quickly rush someone over there. Yeah, we should be fine now. The Brits seem to focus on this front in Romania, but that means our front is doing just fine. Although I have to get more troops in Libya. They are even pushing against us. The Romanians will be occupied. Valahia is already out. Maybe we can try a naval invasion as well. Okay, that actually worked. Why aren't they going below zero? I am occupying their capital. So what is going on here? People are already starting to leave. I don't like this. Maybe we'll have to just wait until Britain capitulates. Okay, Britain is out. We even got enough farmers in the meanwhile. And Russia left. But everything is fine now. There we go. We won! I managed to liberate Iraq and Bulgaria as well, but not the other puppets of the Ottomans. They left the war a bit too quick, and we also got our recognition, because the Ottomans were a great power, and we enforced our war goals on them. So now we are a major power as well. Persia is trying to annex Oman, but I don't really like that. I think I'm gonna annex Oman myself. I think I'll also form my own power block. Let's form the Arab League early, although it's gonna be a sovereign empire under my control. We pretty much conquered all of Arabia, except for the Trucial states which are under the British, so it's time to go into Ethiopia. But I first want to conquer all of Somalia, to make sure no one else can get into this region. We also annexed Oman, so we are in control of Zanzibar. That's pretty nice. We do have all the states needed to form Arabia, by the way, but we still need pan-nationalism, and that's quite far away. But it's fine, we're in no rush whatsoever. We also enacted religious schools. All of Somalia and Eritrea is ours, so I was thinking about making a little protectorate. A little protectorate in Persia. It's only 30 infamy, and I believe it is definitely worth it. Let's end this war, and there we go, big Persian protectorate. And I made sure to surround all of Ethiopia so no one else can take it, unless they get attacked and they back down. But that's too stupid even for the AI. Our truce with the Ottomans is over, so let's go into another war. Surprisingly enough, the British didn't join, so I guess we can add some more war goals. There we go, and this time we liberated their subjects. Except for Moldova. Didn't have enough maneuvers. And also North Germany unified by the looks of it. They're gonna be a pretty important power. Okay, now we can form this government, the industrialist. So now I think we can and we should be going for wealth voting. We can also form our first company. We could go pretty big into opium. That sounds like a pretty good idea. After all, we do have all of Persia. Looks like Russia wants to support Darfur in this war. But that's fine, they can't even get to them. I could get a defensive pact with Britain. You know what? Sure. I guess we can be allied with the British for now. Hejaz also sides against me, those traitors. Too bad I don't have the maneuvers to annex them as well. And this guy is our new leader. He does give us a little bit of tax waste, but other than that I guess he's alright. Looks like the Ottomans are also attacking us. Okay then, they are actually a minor power. I could make them a protectorate, but it's a bit too much infamy. So I think it's better to wait until they become unrecognized. And we can call in our British allies. I don't think we have to bring in anybody else. And guess what? We enacted wealth voting as well, finally. We are a democracy, sort of. It's over, Otto bros. Now they have literally no more subjects whatsoever. Everybody has been liberated. Now it's time to annex Tunis. Why not after all? Tripolitania sides against me. Okay. It's like 5 infamy to annex them. I will be able to switch to skirmish infantry at some point. But I don't think we can really handle that right now. And we became a great power. That's why I don't have any influence anymore. At least we are dominating North Africa. Oh yes, and we finally got railways. I really need a couple of them. Wait, what? The Netherlands united the Benelux by the looks of it. That's pretty impressive. And we even got appointed bureaucrats. But I think that was a bit of a mistake because now I have a huge bureaucracy shortage. Anyway, let's go to interventionism. Maybe that will help. So looks like the Russians and the Germans are going to war because they're backing different factions in the Ottoman civil war. Either way, I don't really care. I'll just be waiting until they become unrecognized. Okay, another ruler. And it's a kid. And we unlocked Q9. So that means we can colonize way faster. All of a sudden everybody wants to beat up the Pope by the looks of it. Except for the Germans. And we unlocked pure opium. Amazing. Oh, and the American Civil War started. But the Confederacy is a bit underwhelming. Oh, and Britain is supporting the USA. Yeah, they stand no chance. And now we can even bring the Bulgarians into our power block. Bulgaria is now in the Arab League. And we enacted interventionism as well. Hopefully it will help the economy. Let's also get some public health insurance. There we go, public health insurance. And we can bring in Wallachia and Serbia into our power block. Very nice. Time for our first mandate. Not too sure what I should go for. I would like colonial offices, but it will take a bit until it starts paying off at level 3. Okay, we'll do it anyway. And we can get a new company. I'll take the paper one. And I did give investment rights to most great powers, because we're industrializing way too slow. Okay, and Germany is trying to unify, so they are at war with France. Well, that's a pretty big deal, but now we have bigger things to worry about, such as the Ottoman Empire. They are finally unrecognized, so that means we can make them a protectorate for only 60 infamy, which is pretty reasonable. Okay, and Britain wants to pay us to build the Suez Canal. I don't think I will do that. I would rather build it myself, although Britain now has a claim on the Sinai. Of all people in the entire world, Bukhara sides against me. Well, I guess I can give this state back to Persia. Actually, yeah, Persia does have a couple claims in this region, so I could use them to my advantage. Okay, there we go, the Ottoman Empire is mine. Now Persia has claims on most of Kabul, so if I attack them, yeah, then I'll be able to return all those states for way cheaper. There we go, we have a bigger Persia now. So now it's time to annex both Persia and the Ottoman Empire. Yes, you heard me right. So first I need to get the Ottoman Empire down to being a puppet. And for that I'll give them some states. The states of Persia to be exact. Okay, we can make them a puppet. And this is how the borders look like. But I have another little subject over here, Muhammara. And now I'll give all this land to Muhammara. All the Persian and the Ottoman land. Although it is tedious. Okay, that's how big Muhammara actually got. Now they are my puppet, they have very low liberty desire, and most of their states are unincorporated. So that means I can annex everything for less than 20 infamy, and probably without a war. Oh, there we go. Now all this land is directly owned by us. The Persians and the Ottomans still exist, but only in one state. Oh yeah, look at the GDP going up, and the population as well. But now we really need to chill for a little bit. Time to incorporate all this land. And guess what? Now we can subjugate Bulgaria for free, through our power block. Very big fan of this. Now let's get the liberals in charge, and let's try to get some free trade. I think we should also try to survey the Suez. We will eventually have to build a canal. Let's also subjugate Serbia. And Wallachia did leave our power block, so I'll try to get them back. And we also unlocked steel frame buildings. I think I will slowly switch to that. The Suez survey finished, and we can build up our canal. So I think because Morocco got annexed by Spain, we can now establish colonies in West Sahara. Okay, then I will do that. I can't let the British have all the fun over here. And we actually managed to enact free trade. I could also try to switch to laissez-faire. Okay, sure. Now I could try something even better, because Britain is conquering some random place in Indonesia and Spain joined. So I can also join the British to liberate Morocco again. I think this will be pretty easy. There we go, Morocco is back on the map. Now Britain is trying to reduce the autonomy of Sokoto. The French already joined, and I can also join to transfer the Trucial state finally. And then the USA also gets involved. All of a sudden this became a pretty big war, but I'm sure everything will be fine. Okay, Sokoto capitulated. Well, maybe I can still enforce my war goal on the British. We got pan-nationalism, so we could form Arabia. And yes, we managed to get the Trucial states. Okay, now I will click the button and finally form Arabia. Let's get this option, it will give us more claims. Now we have claims in Algeria and in Morocco as well. And the Suez Canal was finished. Oh yes, and we got laissez-faire. Even more money. Let's also commercialize agriculture. Now if I attack the French, it says that the Germans are likely to support me. And I believe that. So let's liberate Algeria. Let's get the Germans in. And also the Netherlands once the French Low Countries. Okay, sure. However, Scandinavia joins against us. But let's be real, we should be fine. This war I want to completely destroy the French. And looks like like Spain is also going against us, but I think we should be able to handle this. The Netherlands actually left the war, so it's really just us and the Germans. Okay, Scandinavia is also out, and Spain as well. Come on, go get Paris. Okay, there we go. So basically I took over Niger and I transferred Senegal, liberated Algeria and Occitania. Now France is truly ruined. They will probably never recover. Let me also annex Montenegro, and the Russians side against me. Amazing. Hopefully they're not gonna be mobilizing a whole lot of people. Actually they're also in a war against Britain, so seems like they're not directing too many troops over here. Interesting, very interesting. And Serbia sides against me last minute. Okay, you're gonna be a puppet. Did also commercialize agriculture, and I couldn't resist. I also liberated a couple countries from Russia. Now let's also subjugate Wallachia. I'll try to get all of those guys into my power block peacefully. Let's also decrease the autonomy of Bulgaria, why not? Yes, you can now bring both Azerbaijan and Georgia into the power block, and we'll be doing the same for Ukraine. But it looks like the US is attacking Morocco. Well, how about we save them by declaring neutrality and conquering them myself? Oh my god, and Britain is trying to make a protectorate out of Morocco as well. Well, thankfully we saved them. And Ukraine can join the power block. And we also got Moldova in the league. And we can get another company. And I know exactly which one I want, the Suez Canal Company. Hopefully it becomes profitable. Now it's about time to also annex Algeria. Let's also upgrade all of our ships. Oh yeah, now we're looking pretty good. Mascara unfortunately is a British protectorate, so I'm not gonna attack them just yet. Okay, Ukraine left the power block. We'll have to bring them back in. I'm also going to order my Arabian puppets to integrate them. And we found oil. Amazing. Let's subjugate Azerbaijan. And let's get Georgia as well. Now I think I'll try to actually ban slavery, although it might cause a revolt. The Suez became profitable, so now I can establish another company. And I think I'll go for this clothing one. I'm pretty sure it's special to Egypt. Finally we can get colonial offices 3. And now we'll get minus 20 infamy generation against unrecognized powers, which is gonna be very useful I think. Let's start by attacking Wadai. The Dutch side against me in this war. Okay, how about you give back my states? We kick the Dutch out of this part of Africa, and I've also annexed all those guys over here. Time to go into this region in Mali. Okay, now we should really chill for a bit. Okay, and the slavers are way too militant. I don't really want a civil war, so I will stop enacting this. Let's get a police force instead. Okay, and the British are trying to conquer some people in Uganda. But the USA is opposing that. And so is France. Although France is not really what it used to be. Let's also abdicate our ruler, because the next one will be an industrialist. And he's also more popular, and more Albanian of course. Okay, and India broke free from Britain by the looks of it. Well, I suppose this should weaken them a little bit. And now we can also subjugate Ukraine. Welcome to the empire. Now we can switch everyone to trench infantry. Definitely worth it. I'm really not a big fan of Austria-Hungary, so how about we separate them? And let's bring in the Germans as well. We also got dedicated police force by the way. Now I think with the German empire on our side, nobody is able to beat us. There we go, no more Austria-Hungary. I mean, yeah, they still call themselves that, but you know what I mean. We can finally get another principal in our power block. And I think I'll go for companies. Let's also build a skyscraper in Cairo. Kabul declared war on us. Really? Okay, then I guess you can be annexed if you really want to. Oh, no way. Russia supports them. They actually became a protectorate of Russia. Okay, then I guess we're fighting the Russians. And we can bring in the Germans. However, the Russians have Canada on their side. Okay, we'll see how this plays out. I want to take Bessarabia, but my god, 25 infamy, I'm not doing that. It's absolutely not worth it. However, liberating Kazakhstan, that could be a very good idea. Okay, so I think we can actually get an alliance with Germany, and this will be very useful. The Germans also have an alliance with the US by the looks of it, but I'm sure they will also work with us. Surprisingly enough, we are actually running out of peasants, so I think it would actually be a good thing to open our borders. There we go, this is what we're left with. Armenia and Kazakhstan are free, and I can definitely get Armenia into the power block. And we became the largest economy in the entire world. However, we must go further. We got the law, now let's try for a second time to ban slavery. Guess what, now it's time for a big war against Britain. I really want to make the most of this alliance with Germany. So now I'm trying to conquer the rest of Algeria and West Sahara, transfer British Senegal, and liberate Sokoto and British Niger. That's the plan at least. I don't think the British can get anybody else to side with them. Yeah, this was actually pretty easy. Let's end the war, and now the borders look way better. We still need to clean them up a little bit, but it's enough time for that, especially with such a strong ally on our side. Let's also get Croatia in the power block, and maybe we can even get Hungary. The British are trying to make a protectorate in Croatia, so how about I also join? And I'll try to transfer Sierra Leone. How about that? And we finally managed to ban slavery in 1907. But now we can go straight to multiculturalism. The Romanian Declaration of Union. Yeah, okay, we like that. We are all for this. There we go, we defeated the British again. This time without German help. We are powerful enough to do that. We can also bring the Hungarians in the power block. There we go, our power block keeps growing. Serbia wants to increase their autonomy? No. Okay, they got the French and the Netherlands on their side. But they are gonna be annexed anyway. And we can annex all of Sokoto for only 35 infamy. With this stack a lot of buffs. So let's do it. And we'll also have to be decreasing the autonomy of Romania by the looks of it. But now we're really at the infamy limit. And we're gonna help Kazakhstan defeat Russia. And liberate this place in Central Asia. Now I don't understand how, but the Romanians just got their independence somehow. No idea how that happened. But at least we can get another mandate. And another company. Okay, I guess we can do the tooling one. If we lost Romania, we might as well subjugate Armenia. The flag is close enough. There is no way multiculturalism passes. And it might even give us into a revolt as well. So we'll have to stop this. We won all those wars, but now we're getting strikes. Yeah, that's not amazing. And Hungary also left the Arab League for some reason. Yeah, our influence in Europe is starting to fall apart. But at least we managed to research chemical warfare. I did have to rush this one. Now by enacting this, we'll get plus 20 offense. Absolutely huge. And with machine gunners, that's plus 25 offense. I think with this one, we'll be pretty much unstoppable. Now we can also subjugate Croatia. So I think all the members of our power block are now subjects. So now I think we are strong enough to declare infamy to be just a number. We have almost 800 units. Only Germany could really pose a threat. But I don't know, they seem to be busy. So we could go into a couple big wars. Okay, then I guess we can annex Ethiopia. And that will put us above the infamy limit. But I kinda have to go here to conquer everything I want. Pretty sure no one can join against us over here. And Osetania wants to cut us down to size. I don't think you'll really succeed in that. I think we could do something pretty smart about this. Yeah, ignore this. But if we are in a cut down to size war, I'm pretty sure nobody else can start another cut down to size play. So we can stay at war with Occitania because they're pretty weak and go around conquering everyone else. That's probably the plan. We'll have to fight the Americans as well, which is gonna be cool. We have almost 120 offense. Yeah, I don't think the Americans can really do anything about this. Okay, the US just annexed Toyo, just so they can attack me from it. Very rude. Okay, now since we are not colonizing anymore and we don't really care about infamy, I guess we can get this institution all the way down. Now I think it's time for the big war, for a war against Britain. Let's attack the Homie. They are a protectorate of the British. And I would like to also transfer British Congo, yes of course. British East Africa, definitely. We can take Gibraltar as well, sure. And I think that's about it. I am a bit scared because they are the only country with a big enough navy to actually be a problem. But looks like absolutely everybody hates them, so no one's gonna help. So the Americans managed to take over their little state somehow, but I can't take it back because there is no front line. And I can't do a naval invasion either. So I guess I'm forced to white peace with the Americans. It's unfortunate. I don't know, those split states work very weird right now. Oh yeah, and Britain just can't stand a chance against our offense. We are definitely winning this. And we're getting a general strike. Terrible. Yeah, there was no way for me to complete this, but I guess now we can get a new mandate. Militarized industry could be pretty good, especially at level 2, and balloon reconnaissance is not bad either. Okay, we'll go for this. We control all the war goals against Britain, so now it's just a matter of time. Let's also end the war with Spain, but looks like we'll have to go to war with the Germans as well. Didn't really plan on doing that, but okay. I guess we can also start a war against Greece, why not? But now we'll have to fight the Russians as well. Thankfully I have an army ready for that. Okay, this Greece war might have been a mistake. We are now fighting absolutely everyone, but I think we'll deal with that, especially if we end the British war quick. There we go. Okay, very nice. Now everyone goes to Greece. Okay, we're beating them. Chemical warfare might be a bit too overpowered. The Greek capital was occupied, so now I think we can spare some troops to annex Romania. They were my puppet and then somehow they managed to break free. Now we have to bring them back into the fold. Oh, and the economy is falling. Yeah, war is not really good for business, but I still want to expand. Greece capitulated and now we're pretty much only at war with Russia. So we can start another one. I'll take the Congo Free State and the US will probably join. There we go, America is in the war. So that means we can take their African holdings. I expect this to be pretty tough however. And the Netherlands also joined. So I'll have to take their colony over here in Gabon and let's transfer Ashanti. They are their protectorate. Okay, the Russia war is over, so now we can focus everything on Africa. This is actually a very tough war. Possibly the hardest war I've ever fought. It's just because the Americans can mobilize so many goddamn troops. And Canada also has a lot of units surprisingly. Okay, finally we're making some progress. I had to mobilize some conscripts. And I just can't pass any laws by the looks of it. There are just way too many radicals for that. Okay then, very cool, America left that war. So let's attack some people over here in Central Asia. And we got this terrible flu pandemic, by the way. Lots of people will be dying. And the British flu keeps spreading. Not a huge fan of that. Now I'm really wondering, could I actually annex the entirety of Hungary? Would anybody really care? Let's see. Yeah, I think we are at the point where nobody really dares to oppose us. How about we take over Galicia Rodomeria after that? And we can establish another company. A bit late, but okay. We could be getting this armament company. We are always at war, so the arms industries will be pretty profitable. I think I'll do this. And we can give them industry rights on automotives. Now that's a very good idea. Now the truce with Spain is over, so we can attack their subject Portugal to take their colonies in Africa. Okay, we're actually getting a bit of a coalition over here. France and Mexico. And maybe Canada. Yes, Canada as well. I guess we'll have to mobilize everyone. Okay, the Canadians also have chemical weapons. That's why they are actually pushing against us in some places. Canada is unironically the most dangerous country in the entire world for us. Okay, thankfully we managed to occupy Madrid, so we should win the war. When Canada left, amazing. They were really carrying this. Okay, finally we won this war. Another Arabian win. Let's also clean up the borders a bit by attacking Austria-Hungary. Japan might side against me. Honestly, yeah, go ahead. Let's see how much we can take. We can take pretty much everything except for Austria proper, South Tyrol and Lombardy. And let's also fix the borders down here in Pakistan. We will attack the Sikhs and then maybe even Bengal. Yeah, Bengal is pretty weak. We can definitely take some land from them. And we can go to war with the Spanish once again because they joined against us in Bengal. Very cool of them. And only now this can be called a true high-infamy run. Oh, and the pandemic is finally over. The strikes still persist, however. Up in the air. For the next 2 years we get even more army offense. It's getting a bit ridiculous. Yeah, I think I'll also go into a war against Britain by attacking their little protectorate. I don't think anybody's gonna help them. They don't have the best reputation. I say with 1000 infamy. Let's go to war with the Germans as well. Let's kick them out of Africa. We can get militarized industries 3 and we can enable balloon reconnaissance. Yeah, sure, let's do that. I think we have enough oil. The Germans also have chem warfare, but I'm sure we can deal with that. Let's end the war with Britain. We also annexed Orange and we transfer South Africa. There we go, we won against Germany. Now there is only one more independent country in Africa, which is Denmark in this one little province. Hopefully we can take this without having a billion people join against us. Of all people, Canada joins against us. And Russia. And the Netherlands. Who else? I did also take a bit of land from Russia, like all of Kazakhstan. And a little bit in this region. Finally we'll finish our last war. This war against Occitania, who tried to cut me down to size. Let's finally white peace. And let's take a look at the rest of the world. Scandinavia, Germany and the Benelux united. Italy didn't. And we did also release a couple countries. We created Austria, no Hungary, and we took a bit of land in Iberia. Looks like Britain is dominating most of this region, although India broke free. China is doing okay, although Russia took Manchuria. In America we have a very big and strong Canada, and a pretty strong USA. Mexico lost a bit of land, but they did gain Alaska. In South America, Brazil annexed Bolivia, we have square Paraguay, and wide Chile. So now let's go back to us. Our economy is only 1 billion, didn't focus too much on economic growth, more on territorial growth. We control all of Africa, Madagascar doesn't count, all of the Middle East, all of Central Asia, and a big chunk of Europe. Of course, we also have a lot of protectorates and puppets. If we go into the market map mode, there we go, this is pretty much all the land we control. Pretty impressive. We are the greatest country in the entire world by far, with the second largest population, still a bit below China, but still we have a pretty good standard of living. Those are all the laws I managed to pass. Not a lot as you can see. Those are the institutions, that's our trade, we are the largest exporter in the world, and those are our companies. So that's it, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Victoria 3 A to Z. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.